in the chapter 2. The chapters have no titles, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There are no titles. You want excitement? You want the... No. We only have the... Actually, does the OG have any titles? That's the overlay you turned off, Safi, you idiot. That's the VG you're looking for. Does the original have any titles? Can I be titulated by the OG? Original also does not have titles. Fair enough. Again, we need to remember that there's an entire potential for there to be cultural differences. Like maybe in Spanish, you just don't do titles as much. Maybe in the Spanish fic community, it's like, buddy, how about you write something instead of getting cute with your titles? All right, it could also just be the author. Who knows? It could also just be coincidence. Coinkydink. As Anon put on his army, he couldn't stop thinking about the night before. Why did I defend them? Yeah, okay, because in case you forgot, we're mostly on course, but we're also kind of off course. He met Nick. He met Chet. Chet does not look like Chet. Nick looks weird, but fine. I may have gushed a little over some cute fashion. But putting aside historical accuracy things, did you know that cutlasses are from the 17th century? They are not medieval weapons, which makes sense. Why did I defend them? Anon asked himself. I like how there's no quotation marks or anything. It's just a standalone statement. Not even a comma. I promised myself I wouldn't get involved with them for both our sakes. And then I go on the first day and get to a fight with them for what? To defend a bunch of misfits who can't play? Because he soft defended someone, I guess. It's sort of by proxy. Anon sighs as he closes his chest plate. He reminds himself of the plan. Go unnoticed, graduate, continue hunting vermin at night until you die. That's my oath. My oath is to get the hell out of the way. What an oath! But Anon still felt hurt. It wasn't like he had any other choice given his nature, and he could only press his temples with his hands. Knowing that both his nature and his destiny work. Wow, just fucking cursed, huh? Man, the author's having fun. It was better not to make people around him suffer because of it. Annoyed at having to face this reality check, he finished putting on his armor to stop thinking for a while. Minerva McGonagall, an early human, was the professor of magical abilities. That's Harry Potter! Why does she have heels on her shoes like that? At the beginning of the school year, and on the rest of class at the system of magical abilities before the accumulator orb! Little by little, the students pass until it's Anon's turn. Go unnoticed. Something was a great Anon mind that morning. And magic was also something highly coveted. Magic, being a chaotic element capable of making the impossible possible, meant that an individual possessed it in large quantities were highly coveted, both for good and for evil. Anon touched the orb and remembers when I taught about magic and its fluctuations. Like other students, the orb of the glow will be dimmer than the one of his classmates. So he's like below average, I guess. I'm frankly disappointed! I'm frankly disappointed. From what Spears told me about you, I expected greater magical aptitude. My apologies, you can still stay with the rest, but I doubt you'll be able to cast spells beyond basic incantations, given your magical ability. Obviously, your way has some useful... you can just learn a spell that makes your sword extra shiny. Buddy. After sighing, McGonagall continued calling out students' names. Although Anon partly understood McGonagall's explanations, he didn't care. A minimum level was enough for him. He didn't need to draw attention to him, especially not in the use of magic. Although learning empowerment spells seemed appealing to him, they would be very useful. Empowerment, enhancement. Make this man a Phys-Adept. Listen, I'm pulling out the Shadowrun book if I'm tempted once more to call out Phys-Adepts. I have it right here, buddy. We will talk about Phys-Adepts. I like them, okay? I just like a guy whose whole thing he's just really good at his job. Like, sure, Street Sammy's got that, but this guy's magic. That makes him cooler. You should kind of kick it a stone, man, but you know. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm pulling out Shadowrun book. This is a terrible idea. This thing eats up so much RAM. Where is it? Magic! I want to learn about Phys-Adepts. I want to learn about those cute boys who go, I'm strong. There we go. Okay, how does this work again? As an adept, you get power points equal to your magic rating and character creation. You can then spend them on buying adept powers. The maximum number you can have in any one power is equal to your magic rating, up to the limit of the power, whichever is less. If your magic rating is 4, you get 4 power points. You can buy 4 levels of critical strike at the cost of 2 power points. And a lot of these cost fractions, right? Like, you might be like, I want add to a boosts. It's like 0.25. What if you're like, I want to be accurate? Oh, it's 0.25. What if you want extra perception or a sensing test? That's half. That's half per. It's just cute. It's just like, I'm a big tough boy. What are the numbers anyway? Like, if you're like a half-decent dude, right? You're like a half-decent Shadowrunner. You're not like a little baby bitch. You're a guy who wants to put up them dukes, as they say. How much would you put in your magic? You couldn't go for the lower ones, because I know that like the lower ones don't even give you magic. Hold up. What I'm looking for. There we go. Meta type. Priority table. There we go. Oh, you have to be a mystic. You can't be an adept with the A one, but you can be with the B one. Your magic is 6, so you can have a lot of points to throw around. You know, kind of splurge. 1 rating, 4 active skill, whatever that is. And the bottom one is like nothing. But hey, even if you go with D, right? Like, sure, you gotta pick an E. You gotta pick an E. But you know, if you really dig down into it, right? E is not so bad. It's like 2 attribute points less. You have to be human with only 1 little cool boy table thing. Is that your edge, right? Is that edge? What is it again? Hold up. I forgot what the little brackets are for. Humans got a +1 to edge. Man, I forgot what it is. I mean, you could always just make it your money. I'm $6,000, man. The next guy up takes 50,000. I think that's like the harshest one of all of them. Anyway, where were we? All I'm saying is Anon would be a great fist adept. You cast fist. Okay, listen, right? Even if you're a little baby boy, and you have 2 magic. You put your little D in there, right? 4 skills. It costs you 4 skills. You're gonna get E in skills because you're weird like that. All right. Adrenaline boost. Let's see. Where's the one that lets you punch real good? Wall running. 0.5. Rapid healing. 0.5. Spell resistance. Natural immunity. I mean, those are mostly just dice. They're not like the full whip and cabango. Mystic armor. You could buy 4 mystic armor. Just like that. For free. I mean, the magic's probably a problem. The magic's probably not good for you. Light body. Where's some critical strike? This power improves a specific melee skill. Specific skill increases the DV of your attack by 1. Man, you could buy like 4 of those. And it takes all your magic, but then you hit like a truck. I mean, everything else sucks. But hey, you hit like a truck. That's what you want, right? Although, you could combine this with enhanced accuracy. Go for 3. You get 3 extra bonus dice. And that's with the other 2 and getting a little extra accuracy. You probably hit pretty good. It's all you can do. You still gotta put on an armored vest every morning like a loser, because you're not a real fist adept. You're a little loser. You can see, everyone keeps poking your forehead. Go look at this loser. And then the street samurai's like, man, I just paid like 50,000 on this stupid armor. it's integrated in my skin. I look like a robot. Ugh, Shadowrun's great. Shadowrun is such a, like, the exploitation of capitalism extends even to those who are not necessarily part of its internals. It's great. Capitalism is dragons. Remember the rule, kids. Never make a deal with a dragon. It can only blow up in your face. Anyway, what is it? Men are lost in thought. A brightening light started living in the classroom. Most of the students were rubbing their eyes because the light momentarily burned their retinas. So now it's not the Atticon flashbang, everyone. It's just the orb. I'm sorry. Repeated a green pear-shaped Stegosaurus quickly. She was dressed in clothes. It looked more like a magician's costume from a children's book. She looked quite comical, to be honest. So, we have in this magic setting, right? We have this going on. What is the tech level? That someone can just walk around with a super obvious wizard stick. Stella Baudelaire. It's okay, dear. It's like your music exceeds my expectation. Don't know how this fucking orb's this goddamn shit that it just blows up when some random ass puts their hands on it, but hey. You easily reach the level of an Archimage. It's all about the natural talent, by the way. It doesn't matter. If you walk into Hogwarts and you're having a bad day, even though you're the nicest guy in the world, you're going into fucking dungeon. You Slytherin. You had a bad day. You're taking one down. Just to turn it around. We determine bioessentialism entirely on how you're feeling that day. Which is like kind of conflating the weather for the climate. Man, that really is like showing up to like the Sahara Desert. It's like raining. Go, yep, the Sahara Desert is extraordinarily rainy. Just fucking swampy ass over here. I mean, it used to be. It used to be Ocean too. The Stegosaurus only pull out jump for joy. And if some of the Stegosaurs have a perfect fit as a wizard. Wizards are stupid. They're dumb. They're weird. Stella attempting to manifest her deviant art via orb. Not advisable. I like how all we're doing is we're just establishing that Stella exists and Anon's kind of meh. I mean, hey, economical at least. At least you're not wasting my damn time. We're going for a nice breezy trip. The next guy is Professor Snake, which is a really weird name to give someone considering dinosaurs exist. The greenish Dilophosaurus with a tense gaze. The class was, so to speak, abrupt. He burst into the class out of the hurry behind him. He looks like Randy's art, but he's not Randy. Goes about to shake with the proper wave of his hand. At his desk, he slammed his hand out to get attention to the students who were only somewhat unsettled by his sudden appearance. I'm Professor Snake. He said the voice out like a poison evil. And in this class, you'll learn about potions. None of those fantasy potions like shape-shifting love potions. Real potions. Powerful mutative potions. Deadly poisons. Is that clear? You're going to learn how to make one of those cool mutagens that all those alchemists are dealing with in Pathfinder. Yes, sir, the class replied in military. Who taught them that? Well, you, the one in armor. What is needed to make a good potion? And I was startled. He unexpected to be the first to get the answer. Also, armor has makes it stand out. Like, everyone's like, hey, wear light breezy clothing because you're going to get acid on you. You need to be able to remove it. Like, in chemistry class, you can't just show up with something you can't pull off. Hello, Professor Snake? Anon replied sincerely. The class burst out laughing. It's true. You just need a little love. Anon sighed, looking around. He was surprised those reptiles didn't understand anything he said. But he preferred to clarify his words, saying that Professor Snake was... Man, Snake's like, come on, Anon. You can't be the class clown already. If I may rephrase that, seeing the reaction of my colleagues. I was referring to love as a mission preparing something with affection, extreme care. If you were preparing the potion for someone dear to you or yourself, measuring the ingredients to the millimeter and following instructions delicately. Wow! Let that slide, Aaron. After all, it's not your fault that your colleagues are incompetent. You've had to clarify an explanation that was quite valid. I mean, a smart person doesn't need to explain shit and just comes out comes out fists swinging. How are we already halfway in this chapter? What happened?
Well, Snake is an idiot. He didn't understand what you meant either until you clarified it.
Said a voice next to Anon. Anon jumped and saw beside him. There's no one there. And then he looked down. Oh, there you are. It's the microraptor from yesterday, dressed more plainly than the rest of the students, in shirt and overalls. I look more like a country bumpkin than the typical nobles and other important people could afford a place here.
I'm Sage, by the way, and I understand what you meant by preparing it with love. And my parents are bakers, and they told me the same thing when I asked why our bakery had so many customers. I mean, baking is more like a science than anything else, so I know a lot about cooking. Yeah, I love that we got Sage. OG writer up top. Thank you for bringing Sage into this and making him already kind of cute. Goddamn. Up top, down low, in the middle, too slow. It was my mother who taught me. She taught me potions. I replied out melancholically. I suppose your parents must be incredible bakers if they could afford to send you here. Who's paying for this? Sage's face darkened, and for a moment, Anon was a good idea to start a conversation with him. Oh, the Moretti's. So Mia's paying for this? Oh. Well, yeah, they are. That was partially thanks to Moretti's sponsorship. We work for them, you know. Thing is, never mind. I want to be a chef, and I always shouldn't give up. My parents worked hard to get the Moretti's to give me this opportunity, and if I have to put up with... So, you go to adventuring school where you learn how to murder people to become a cook? This seems like a really bad way to organize your society. Well, if you want to be a chef, you have to learn how to stab a man. For a moment, Anna wanted to support Sage. God damn it, get out of here, bad fanfic writers. When he saw tears welling up in her eyes and she looked away after finishing, you mistook him for a guy earlier. I love how we're just... What is Sage? We just don't know. What are Sage? We just don't know. He hesitated, but decided to look the other way. It was none of his business, and he prided himself not to draw any more attention than was necessary to get his license and leave. After that, they barely spoke, except to share information about the class until it ended and they went to the banquet hall. Whoever wrote this really likes themselves some Harry Potter, or is just using shortcuts. I'm okay with both answers, but neither... Sage executed Patootie. Underutilized. Underutilized. I demand that Sage is in 50% more Fics right now. Arriving at the banquet hall, I tried to go, this is the narrator, it's in italics, why is it suddenly first person? I like how this man establishes rules for structure and then he goes, eh. I tried to go unnoticed. I don't know, Naomi Nasarati, if they would best him to... Hint? Who is the narrator? I had no intention of finding out. But if they're inviting him, then why... Man, is this just because, like, in Spanish, you can just leave out pronouns a lot of the time? You can leave out the noun, the subject, because you can just use verb conjugations to cover for it? Is that why this is going so fucked up? Anna, you're hungry today. You're like the first in line. Voice said behind him. It was Nasa. He knew the voice without turning around. He cursed himself. I can't believe I know who this is already. Anon curses himself. Hey, Nasa. You have any plans with Naomi today?
Yeah, but I wanted to invite you to our table regardless of what you order. After all, you gave those jerks who insulted my sister what they deserve. Also, you have to pay for the damage you did to the table. Besides, that way you can get something more succulent than when I saw you yesterday. I didn't know you were so strapped for cash, being a knight and all. I mean, knights don't really get paid all that much, but hey. Not all of us have a father who's chief of the guard who can just pay for everything now, sir. Besides, we're after road rations, anything to his screwed. His classist comments. God damn it, get out here. But since you're inviting me, I had a good old-fashioned chickadee in a while. It's expensive out there. You had a mockingly and grabbed a whole roast full chicken. Aren't chickens like poor people food though? Like at the time, if you were rich, you had things like pheasant, right? I don't even know. I know that things change, right? It's like lobster used to be the food you fed to a prisoner because you hated him, and now it's like fancy people food. And foie gras was weird peasant food, and now it's not. Ugh. I feel like chickens would be peasant food because they're super easy to keep, all things considered. Right? Like, they're easy to keep, easy to slaughter, easy to do anything with. Like, all things considered, they're kind of peasant food. Give me that popcorn chicken. Once Nasser had been plucked just like the chicken head on the... Man immediately goes for the whole hog, huh? He's going straight for that crispy tender. He's going for his tendies. Man needs his tendies. They gathered at the table where Naomi was sitting. Unfortunately for Anon, it seemed like she wasn't alone. She was accompanied by a band of misfits who had fled the stage yesterday. Anon could only sarcastically rejoice himself at having woke up. Great, more people. That's a really weird way to put it. Why not just put the quote in there? Also, yay, everyone else is here. We're speeding stuff up, man. We got the pedal to the metal. Let that Lego squeal. You're in the driver's seat, and you're behind the wheel. Brick by brick, talk like...
Hi, Anon!
Naomi replied cheerfully. Replied to what? To his sarcastic statement she didn't hear? This time, not sounding quite so fake, perhaps because she thought she could not get rid of the other group. Hello, Anon replied somewhat curtly, addressing everyone present in the hall. Thank you so much for giving that idiot what he deserved yesterday, Anon. It's rude to address people with their name without him introducing themselves first. There's no reason to thank me. That jerk was bothering the staff. Anon replied as he took one of the chicken thighs. He got himself the... He could have at least gotten wings, man. Or a big old... One of those clubs. Besides, it was the quickest way to calm everyone down so they could come out and go out and play too. What do you think of our music, Anon? Asked the purple triceratops with some interest. It was... Oh, look, listen. No two ways about it. I don't know much about music, so I don't know what you were trying to achieve with those instruments. But, I just don't, okay? This led to a somewhat tense moment of silence, where the pterodon girl and the raptor boy looked downcast, and Naomi and Asa looked away. The triceratops girl seemed angry at the comment. Why would a piece of tin like you know about art? How do they know he's human anyway? It could be anything in there. It could be a cow. It could even be a chicken. Chimkin. Come on, Trish, don't talk like that. You wouldn't want to ask for his opinion. Shut up, Reed. Obviously, that piece of tin is no different from these idiots. From those idiots, sorry. He knows another combination of instruments is something unique and a great option for reaching the top. I'm different from the reptiles at the tavern, but whatever. If you don't want an honest opinion, you shouldn't have asked me. He just, at least he uses the soft version of the slur. Remember Promise of a Lifetime, where they're just casually calling out people with the hard R? Dang. No chill. Trish's anger grew. Reed was only able to stop her from jumping on Anon with Nasa's help, while Naomi and Fang would only reproach Anon for his lack of tact. How can you be a soldier if you have no tactical options? To which he simply shrugged his shoulders. If you want to know my full opinion, Nasa was wrong to give out those reputations. That's why it was full of idiots, including me, right? Secondly, I don't know why he chose those instruments. Who? Who's he? I don't know much about music, but I could see the Fangs. What is the focus of this story? Why are we speedrunning Fang? I wouldn't say she's bad at it. So Fang's not non-binary? Because no one's bringing it up? It's like she's forcing herself to play it, When you compare her to Nick playing the same instrument, like night and day. I don't know if the sudden slam of Fang fist against the table made Anon decide to keep quiet. She was furious, baring her teeth in a snarl. Go to hell. You're a nobody. Trisha's right. I don't even know I asked for your opinion when you don't have a clue. Come on, let's go. Peace. Flipping him off, Fang and Trish left the banquet hall along with Reed. Nasser and Naomi glared angrily at Anon. I invite you, and this is how you repay me? By insulting me and my sister on the day of my sister's wedding? They're getting married? Well, no, but I felt like making it sound worse than it was, so you'd feel bad. You should feel bad. I thought your invitation was meant as competition for this poor gentleman who can barely afford a chickadee. Isn't that right? Besides, you should look... Why is Anon so talkative in this? The man's trying to... It's like, I need to stay invisible and have a low profile. And he's just talking smack endlessly. I have to say, I love how just wild this fic has been so far. It has no chill. It's just going places. Translation issues aside, which seem to have cleaned up a bit. I guess that first chapter was like a proof of concept. Because this is way more structurally stable. So hey, good on them. But... I love how it's just going places. It does not sit still. It doesn't have time for purple prose. It's got a scene to finish. I love it. It feels a little too fast, but on the other hand, hell, man. Nice to swing the other way. Besides, you should learn to take criticism. You nobles have such thin skin. Why do you even hire jesters? I know your intentions toward your sister were good, but you know you screwed up. What did you expect to happen when you open your wallets to strangers? Think, Nasa, think! What are you thinking? Anon went on finishing his chicken.
Oh, why are you so caustic? We were only trying to be friends. You should go talk to them and apologize for being so rude.
Why should I, Prince?
Excuse me, princess.
If they don't want my honest opinion, they shouldn't have asked for it. You already knew I wasn't going to bother being delicate, Anon replied. I already told you I'm not looking for friends, Naomi. So stop trying to force friendships I don't want. What do you mean? Thanks to the chicken anyway, Nasa. See you in class. What do you mean forcing friendships? She's just like, hey, be nice. Wow. I love how there's just this element of like, there is no focus. We're just doing stuff now. So Anna left the banquet hall, not even waiting for a single farewell gesture from either of them. Hoping he didn't have to deal with them again after being so blunt. They were just foolish nobles looking for another commoner to flatten them with sweet lies in exchange for crumbs, just like in the court. If they couldn't see reality for what it was, they would only keep spinning in the same self-destructing spiral. It's a big word from you, Mr. Non. The last class was postponed due to an announcement from the Guildmaster. According to Spears, today the Academy will be holding its first qualifying duels. That's really early in the year. Those duels will not only track the progress of the apprentice, but also grant access to guild missions that allow them to earn some extra income on the side. Of course, participation was limited to students interested in combat. Those who had not chosen martial subjects or simply weren't interested could opt out. It sounds more like it's an opt-in thing than an opt-out situation, buddy. Additionally, because there's a difference between opting out and opting in. One implies that the default is that you're already in, the other one's the opposite. Additionally, the duels will take place between agreed parties to settle disputes in a more civilized manner. I can't believe we're having a pistols at dawn duel just because I got mad over your choice in shirts. Avoiding violence outside the academy grounds. Sometimes, however, these matches are merely an excuse for secret betting. Or was it something that the academy approved of? It wasn't active pursuit either. It's like incidental betting. A fight could be one two ways. Death, incapacitation. What? You have to... What? Rules of nature, am I right, kids? Or by forcing... Death or incapacitation, or by forcing the opponent to surrender. The latter granting more points to the victor as it acknowledges the opponent's recognition of superior skill. As it acknowledged the acknowledgement of skill. And of course, there were no real deaths or serious injuries. Inside the arenas, they all wore a belted and studded gem that would shatter upon death. Instantly telling the user's unconscious body to the infirmary, thus sparing the academy any trouble. We don't have a graveyard here. In addition, several healing magic in hand to teach amputations of injuries. So, healing magic is like out there, I guess. When Anon's came, he hit the belt. Removing the certainty of death from the fight would only make him complacent and careless out there. No such belts. And man, Anon's just like trying to get himself killed. It wasn't until the last match came across a familiar face. Man, I love how... Listen, I like how Reed wears like a plain shirt. He's got plain skirt going on. But under that, he's got some nice patterns. Man still... He's got that little touch. A couple of feathers, he's got it up there. The nod showed in recognition. Are we going to see what magic is like? Because we've had like some low-key, like, to the side magic, but not any real magic. Come on, show me some real magic if you're going to go this fast. Also, I'm going to have to take a break after this. I'm not breathing enough as I should. Man, I'm not breathing. Out of oxygen. Out of time. Hope there's no hard feelings when I beat you, bro. Reed said, teasingly showing his teeth with a half smile. That's gay, Reed. I'm forfeiting the duel. I'm not fighting a gay man who's like obviously trying to hit onto me. Dude, I was just trying to be I got prankster skills. God damn it. This is the fourth person who quit. Well, maybe you should just stop doing it every time. Well, half of them are women. Man, nobody wants to date me. Why does my flirt power not make them infatuated? Why does it always make them run away? Am I this unappealing? You shouldn't sell the bear's hide before you hamster it, Reed. It's like you shouldn't ask for opinions if you can't handle criticism, even if it's harsh. That's a really long statement, Anon. It really doesn't hurt. It's like way too lengthy and it makes you look stupid. With that, they turned around and walked back to a starting point, leaving Reed hanging his head. Both of them had reached their marks. On your marks, the arena transformed, taking on the shape of... They can do this? They can just pull fucking jungle out of their butts? And I was still amazed the amount of resource devoted to simple student duels. Monica truly could accomplish incredible things. I mean, they're rich. There's nobles who are bored out of their gourd. There were multiple crystal players that acted as cameras, allowing the audience to watch the action. What kind of fighter was Reed? Anon pondered. His advantage in the earlier matches had been clear. His fighting style was too easy to read, making him more vulnerable to ambushes of opponents that don't reveal their abilities right away. Information's a vital part of battle. He murmured as he continued forward cautiously. The roar of the distance alerted him, and Anon smiled. I know where you are, Reed. Oh, he's straight up a D&D druid? He said quietly to himself as he tied some vines to a tree trunk to set a trap. Soon, a Reed shape began to come into view, taking the form of a Spinosaurus. That's really weird. That's really weird. So we got dinosaurs, but also you can be a dinosaur. Although people of the East were partially humanoid descendants of dinosaurs, Reed, being a druid, he's a fucking D&D druid, had completed his transformation spell into the ancient beastly form of that species. How does that make any sense? Just like some still dwelling within the sun. How does that make sense? Are they like monkeys? Are they like monkeys to humans? Reed continued his advance, trying to locate his prey, sniffing the air and knocking down a few trees. We didn't notice was suddenly some vines around his feet tightened, making him lose his footings and fall face first. What is this fic? What is going on? Great question. Reed roared as he fell, crushing several bushes and shrubs beneath him. While on the ground, he felt a sharp pain in his legs and screamed in agony. He tried to stand, but he couldn't. Anon, after tripping him, had moved quickly, running towards him with a couple of swift slashes and slashed the tendons in his... Holy shit, we're going whole hog, huh? We're just going whole hog. Reed had realized he would never be able to get up again, even in his animal state. He could only writhe on the ground, whimpering in pain and fear. The crackling sound alerted Reed was too late. A large tree trunk had fallen on top of him, pinning him down. Reed could only let out a roar of pain, with the crushing weight pressing him into the ground. So, when he de-transforms, is his leg back to normal, or is he just dead? Listen, I'm really sorry, Reed, said in a cold tone, stepping down from the fallen tree trunk to land atop of Reed. I know it is, but I'm trying to make it quick. I know you can't speak to surrender in this form. I'm cheating, bitch! Less competition! Reed, gripped by panic, could only whimper and close his jaw to futile impotent gesture. Anon moved swiftly and mercilessly. We're just killing Reed? He leapt to... Okay, Anon moved swiftly and mercilessly, running forward. He leapt so that his sword, now pointing downward, drove through Reed's skull, piercing the wide-open eye filled with... I'm sorry, what? What a great way to make friends, Anon! Decapitate someone! Having died instantly, I can't believe he killed him, killing him instantly. The belt activated, disintegrating Reed's body before it vanished in a flash of light. Anon and the trunk that had pinned Reed fell to the ground. The scenery faded away, leaving Anon just kind of standing around like a gormless man. The crowd cheered, but to Anon, it always felt hollow. They were merely practice bouts, brutal ones that allowed them to experience pain and the possibility of death, yet meaningless beyond serving as a way to hone his skills. Anon sheathed his sword again. As he left, people cheered and congratulated him. After all, he had achieved a perfect record of victories, making him one of the rising stars of the year. Yet none of it lifted his spirits. How could this happen to me? Oh, sorry. Why do I feel so dumb? Then why do I feel so empty? Maybe I shouldn't have stood out so much? Why do I keep winning? On the other hand, I need to earn my title to move forward. Why does it feel like everything I do is meaningless? I don't know. Maybe stop being a nihilist? Or be a nihilist and embrace that you can give your own meaning. Seeing a terrified Reed leaving the infirmary with a faggot church only clouded his thought further. Am I doing the right thing by fighting? You joined this particular tournament to get something out of it. The Just Summit children. They haven't lived through my miseries. Am I being too harsh on them? Nah, it's the children who are wrong. Alone, at home, stripped of his armor, Anon sat on his bed, letting the moonlight fall across part of his figure. Staring at his hand, he had his last thoughts before going to sleep. You're nothing but an abomination, Anon. They'll never accept you. Your opinions don't matter. They'll rebuild their lives after you're gone. Just have to think about the only future that awaits you. You don't need to leave her as the best. Just get your license and leave this place behind. Anon zicht. He knew it was a lie, he told himself, but what else could he do? Because of this condition, he could never live a normal life, the simple life he wished for. What life? What condition? Perhaps that's why he projected his pent-up anger, being so cold and unpleasant to others. It's only the first few days, Anon. Once you're long gone, knew you'd be invisible and can go on with your life. I mean, if you keep winning like that, probably not. Wow. I have no idea what's going on or what the point of this story is, in that I don't know where it's planning to go with any of it. But I don't know, man. We got some zest. You got some of that joie de vivre or whatever you want to call it. They expected RuneScape. I gave him Dark Souls 2. I just wanted to hit him with my sword every couple of ticks. And so forth. I wonder if the whole problem with like inconsistency in whatever narrator or Anon is talking is like the author's problem. Oh yeah, notes added end to narrator voice sections. So the author, original or otherwise, is aware of the fact that like this structure he's using isn't actually working. It's really weird. Anyway, I'm just gonna say pa-da-pa-pa-da-pa-da-pa-da-pa-da-pa-da-pa.